I'm Kimberly with Fat Quarter Shop. Today is February 10th, 2023. Sorry for the technical difficulties this morning. Okay, so today we're going to be working on Sewcialites, and we're working on block 15 by Minky Kim. She is a fabric designer for Riley Blake, and she makes beautiful bags and beautiful quilts, and we have lots of videos on our channel that she came and filmed with us a couple of years ago. So on the Fat Quarter Shop channel, you can just search Minky Kim and you'll find lots of cute, fun videos. I'm going to show you the block and talk about the color, and then we're going to build it. And we're going to really focus today on building a block and using a design board just to keep everything in place, and cutting once, and then just basically using your sewing machine and your ironing table and just going back and forth and back and forth. Very easy block, a very beginner block, and there is a technique I'll talk about that you could use. So these are the 3 sample maker blocks. This is the 9-inch size in Fig Tree fabric. This is Camille Ross Kelly fabric in 6-inch size. And I apologize for the noise in the background. It is windy and rainy here, so that is the roof. This is basic gray fabric. This one is sewn in Sweetwater. Blue Jean by Christopher Thompson. Sherry and Chelsea fabric. Minnick and Simpson fabric. And then Bunny Hill Designs fabric. So when you look at the block, it's kind of like an interlocking, kind of like those popular interlocking locks that are at Hobby Lobby. So this one is really fun because we wanted to do a play on stripes and get all the stripes going the same way. This one has, you know, 1 geometric, 1 stripe, 2 colors. So some have a lighter and darker, so you can have fun with this one. This one is a way to use up a bigger fabric, so something that has a bigger scale might work in this one because the pieces are bigger than most of the Sewcialites pieces. So this is an easy quilt, easy block, but I do want to show you this block. If you look here and here, so this is a square, rectangle, square, 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 rectangle, square. And that's the easiest way to piece this. But Angel didn't want her stripes to break up. So she pieced this by using rectangles in all 4 spots instead of squares here. And she sewed it using the Y method. So that means you would like sew it, and then, I mean, that's like a special technique. If that's something you guys want me to teach you at some point, you can put in the comments and let me know, and that's something we can do on a separate video. But that's a way that she got all of her stripes to line up, was doing rectangles here instead of squares. So if you're more advanced, like Angel is, you can do that technique. It just takes some practice. Maybe like the first couple times it won't work, but after you do it about 2 or 3 times, as long as you're making your marks and starting and stopping in the right spot, it will work out. And that is how the back looks. So thank you to the super chat from Elizabeth Qualline. Thank you so much. Piggy says thank you. And I'm going to show you Minky Kim's block. So like I said, this is Minky Kim's block. And she made her block with Forgotten Memories, and that is a Riley Blake collection, and it is a beginner block that will highlight fabric beautifully. When asked about her block design, she said she's crazy about it because it's simple and quick. And I wanted to show you some of her newest fabric. This is her newest fabric collection called Forgotten Memories, and it's got a range of peach, gold, yellows, kind of a charcoal, blue, and purple. And one thing that I always like about her collections is she always manages to fit in a lot of colors in her bundle, so that you get a good variety. She also is a pattern designer, and we sell a lot of her bag patterns. We sell quilt patterns also, and we sell them at Fat Quarter Shop as paper and as PDF. So now I'm going to show you how to make the block, and I'm going to show it to you the normal way. So this block is very easy. And you're just going to cut squares and rectangles. Now today we are working with squares and rectangles. We're working with the Dwell Collection by Camille Ross Kelly. And we are working with, this time, some stripes. So I'm going to give you some different tips on stripes. Now on a block like this, like I always say, look at your block, read your instructions before you do anything. And the first thing that I see here is, this is easy. You're just building a block. It's kind of, those are kind of my favorite blocks sometimes, because you don't have to change your foot from a 1/4 inch to an open toe, and it's just very simple. And the biggest key is to keep everything in the right spot. So I've laid out this part, and I already sewed this seam just to cheat a little bit. Once that's done, we'll add to the sides. And so I'm just going to lay everything out. And I don't think they're cut the way that I want them to be cut. So I think I need more stripes, because I don't think these are going the way I want them to go. So I'm going to get my fabric. Let's see. Okay, so when I'm looking at my sample block, all the stripes go the same way. Here, and this is cut. This is cut opposite. So I'm going to change these two. And this is a good tip on when you lay it out, and if you don't think it looks great, all you have to do is change it. So to me, it looks funny with all the geometric going that way, and I think it looks better this way. So these fabrics, the fabric E is cut 2 by 3.5. So what I'll do is look at that, and I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be like this. So let's see. So I want it to be more this way. So I need to cut a 3.5. Let's see. 3.5, and I need to cut it 4 inches wide. So I'm going to just put it right here. And it looks like it's straight. Okay, so then I'm going to cut this 3.5, and you know, this is one of the things that I make the mistake on the most. I can't tell you how many times I think I'm cutting correctly and then I don't. So this is one thing where I mess up quite a bit. So if you mess up too, don't worry. And don't be afraid to change. If you don't like something, change it. And to me, that looks better than this. And yeah, even if you flip them, they still go the same way. So basically I'm going to take these off and replace these, and that's just a tip on laying out your block all at once, because if I wouldn't have laid it out, I would have sewed it, and then I wouldn't have matched this, and I would have thought, oh, I probably would have ripped it out. So today what we're going to focus on is basically I'm going to take all my alpha bitties off, and I'm going to make sure that all my backgrounds are right side up because it's so hard to see. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine, and what I'm going to do is sew these together. I'm going to sew these together, and then I'm going to sew this together, and this together. And then I'm going to go to the iron and iron all that and start pinning at the ironing table and just build the block as I go. And I'm just going to use a 1/4 inch seam, and I'll just pin as I go. And on this one, you can kind of get away with not pinning. And so I'm kind of assembling the outside and the inside at the same time. The easier the block is, the more likely I'm going to do that. The harder the block is, the least likely I'm going to do that because I don't trust myself when it gets really hard. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is set my seams pressed to one side. Now, if you guys want, I could do the center as a Y seam after I'm done, just to show you real quick how to do it. Y'all are gonna have to vote in a poll to see, but that will add about probably 10 or 15 minutes to the live stream. But if y'all wanna see it, I will do it. And this one would be a good one to tease just because the seams are pretty small. And the smaller it is, the harder it is to do. And Teresa Young says she's finally getting to watch live after 3 years of watching recordings. Yay! If you turned your stripe around, would it have worked? No, it wouldn't have. And again, I apologize for the noise. It's the roof. And we're making the 6-inch size today. Let's see. So then I just stay at my ironing table. This is how you can be efficient. And then, you know, you just keep building it. So from here, I'm going to pin these two together. And when I pin, I'm going to just make sure the seams are lined up. Sew on the seam. And then at the sewing machine, I'll come iron this back. So I'm just going to sew this, come back and add this. Okay, so y'all would like to see Y seams. Okay, so I can do that at the end. And so here I just need to add this to this, and keeping it on the board is what's going to keep it in your brain correctly, if that makes sense. And again, just pin at these intersections. And just so you guys know, we didn't write the pattern with Y seams, so you'll have to get kind of creative. Okay, so just make sure you have it the right direction because that would be incorrect. And then I'm going to go ahead and pin both sides, sew those seams, and then we'll add the top and bottom, and then we will move to Y seams. So if y'all have, and now I'm going to just tell you, I've done Y seams a lot, but I'm no expert. So I might make a mistake because I haven't done it in a while. I just don't want y'all to get your hopes up too much and then I make a mistake. So again, just sew on the seams, come back. And it's always fun when you add stripes and they line up. So that lines up and that lines up, not really. So this one doesn't line up, but this one does. So that's kind of fun. And then here I'm just going to add the top and the bottom, and then the block will be done. And then we'll use this as a guide to show you how to do the Y seam. Let's see. Elizabeth, okay, thank you, Elizabeth, for the super chat. And if y'all have any questions, this is an easy block, but if you have any questions, I'd love for you to go back and watch some of Minky Kim's videos, because she does some really cute things that I don't usually show. So that's like totally different content, and really cute stuff. So almost done pinning. I love the magnetic pin holder. It's been a game changer. Yes, I love magnetic pin holders. New year, what's a Y seam? I'll show you in a second. It's going to be fun, fun, fun. Now, I actually taught myself how to do Y seams. I was doing a pattern years ago, probably 15 years ago, and the pattern didn't have instructions, so I kind of just figured it out on my own. So the way I'm going to show you is basically what I made up in my head that day and what worked. So okay, before I do Y seams, I am going to trim the outside of the block just because I need to get that done. I don't like to forget that. And thank you to the Bathola. Happy Friday, Kimberly. Love what you do. Thank you. Thank you for always watching. And then thank you from Pamela Winkle for the super chat. Y'all can ask questions when you put the super chat in. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave this over here. Now, like I said, these two are squares and these two are squares. We're going to do those as rectangles instead. And so first I'm going to cut the center square, which is fabric B, which is 1.5 inches. So 1.5. Okay, now these two, I actually can trim these two down that I didn't use. And this one right here is 1.5 by 2.5. So I'm just going to trim these down to 1.5 by 2.5. And then I'm going to tell you how you come up with the size of the other rectangles. Now this, you definitely have to use like a friction pin or some type of marker. You definitely cannot do this without some kind of marking utensil. So right there. Now, square, 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 you use the same size as this. So whatever you cut your fabric F, that's what you're going to cut for here instead of your fabric Ds. So now I'm going to cut two gray rectangles that are 1.5 by 2.5. So I have 2 scraps. I'm going to try to just use these 2 scraps. So 1.5 by 2.5. So 2.5, 1.5. Okay. So now that's what we have. Now I'm going to get a friction pin and a small ruler because you do need that. I'm going to move the pattern out of the way. But again, if you're wanting to do this in the 3-inch size or the 9-inch size, just use the same rectangle as up here to right here. Okay, now, hopefully we don't make a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this. So you can see that if you add this to this, you can't add this yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to this. And then I'm going to start adding around the other way. But what you need to do is you need to stop a 1/4 inch away right here. So find a ruler that has a 1/4 inch marking. And this one does. I'm going to actually leave this with it. So what you do here is I'm going to put this on top. Actually, I need to mark it from the back. Would be better to mark it from the back. So right sides together. And you need to sew from that line to the end. But you don't want to just start stitching here. You want to stitch here, back stitch to secure it, and then sew. So start here, go forward, back stitch, and then go down, and you'll see how I do that. Now I would suggest starting at that line and using your hand to push the needle down, because it's got to go. It's so important to go exactly in that spot. If you're not exactly in that spot, it's not going to work. So I hand put the needle down right there. Stitch a couple stitches, back stitch. Okay, I'm going to cut the thread off. Okay, now right here, you have to be at the 1/4 inch. If you're not, when you get to the last step, it will not work. So it has to be, so you can see there's a little flip opening. And if you don't back stitch, these stitches are going to come out later. So I'm going to, I think it's easier to press to one side on this and to not press open. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So then I'm going to put this back on and then add this. And then you're adding 2.5 to 2.5. You're not in the middle of a seam. This is your middle of the seam that you're going to do at the end. So I'm going to go across. Press to one side. And then you've got a 2.5 to 2.5. It's the next one where the issue is going to be. Kimberly is showing us how to do a partial seam. Thank you. Yes, I think I'm showing you partial and not Y. Probably. I'm probably calling it the wrong thing. Sorry. Thank you to Crystal Limke for the super chat. My cat loves the sound of Kimberly's Juki. Every time she sews, he comes running to sit on my lap and watch. That's so cute. Okay, so now we somehow have to get this into here. So what you're going to do is pull this back. It's going to take a little, because you need this, you need to not, when you're sewing this on here, you need to sew just like that. So you have to pull this up. So I need to get this gray out of the way, so I'm going to push it back and pin it away. And then I'm going to push this open, put this together, and then so what you're going to do is the gray is going to stay out of the way, and you're going to stitch all the way from here to here. And since you're right at a 1/4 inch, it should work out, but it might not. We'll see what happens. Okay, so there's the mistake I made because I knew I was going to make one. You're supposed to stop a 1/4 inch away. Okay, so I'm going to mark that 1/4 inch because that's what I was supposed to do. And then unpick that. Sorry, I use a really small stitch length, so to pull the stitches out is really hard. Okay. So now what I need to do is really what I need to do is start here, stitch, but this has to have a little back stitch in it. So put your needle down. Put your needle down where that little where the line is. Okay, so right here, I have 1 stitch too many. So you just pull 1 stitch out. Okay, now you kind of have to twist. It takes a little bit. So you're going to pull this over, flatten it, and you kind of have to just keep this out of the way, flatten it, and you're just going to sew right over there just to right here. Trying not to go too far into here, because if you do, you might clip into this seam over here. Okay. And I pressed that the way it originally was pressed. Okay, now we're going to go to the other table. And we're going to zoom way in, and you're going to see the one little tiny mistake. Okay, I have an extra stitch there. There's nothing a seam ripper cannot get out. So see that little extra stitch? You can pull it from the back or just cut it. And when you're looking at this, the reason people would do this instead of this is there's no break in the fabric right here. And I'm not sure if this is a Y seam or a partial seam. I don't know what it is. I just showed you how to do whatever that is that Angel did on her block. But it's a way to look, you know, this in the end, is it going to matter? It depends. Now, the smaller the pieces, the harder it is. The bigger the pieces, the easier it is. And you can see it's got kind of like a little indent right there. This is one of those techniques you just have to kind of do and do it again and again and again. So just because it takes a little bit of time. So I'm going to answer any questions you have on this block. It's called Brighton Block. And I'm going to answer any questions and then we'll take a little break. Kathy says, my grandson, who is 15 months old, is mesmerized by Kimberly's machine. He always stops and watches when he hears it. He's too young to be in Grammy's sewing room. Oh, so cute. Thank you to DAS for the super chat. And then Nooks and Crannies says, is the slap bracelet that was in the Cupid box going to be available at FQS? No, we had that made special for the box. So sometimes when we do the boxes, we'll have something made special for the box because then it's like more exclusive. So we're going to take a break, and when I come back, we're going to talk all about current sew-alongs and where we're at in there. And thank you to Sharon Hutchison. Thanks for jumping right in to show us. Yes, and I mean, I knew I would make a little bit of a mistake, and I did, and that's okay. That's what happens at home. So we'll be right back. questions I'm going to answer. And then what I decided to do today, because we have so much stuff, is I'm going to show you everything and then answer questions at the end. But I have a couple questions to answer first. Barbara Ann asks, now that you've done both block approaches, which would you choose to do in your quilt? I would just do the squares. Thank you to Susanna Pastorik for the super chat. And then Barnstar Sampler, I will answer that in a second. I'm going to save that one. And then, is there a difference between regular cotton and shirtings? Are shirtings like wovens? So shirtings actually are cottons. Now, in the olden days, I'm not sure what they were, but right now, the ones that we buy from like Marcus Brothers and Moda are cotton, and they're white, and they just have little ditzy prints. So I'm going to jump right into Bountiful. So excited to show you this. If you reserved this, thank you so much. We shipped these out this week, so you should be getting this any day. Right now, we have raised $18,978 for Make-A-Wish. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to $20,000 in donations so we can release our fabric requirements for the quilt-along for everyone who did not buy the kit. So what I decided to do, because donations are way down this year, is I need to get them up. So if by midnight tonight, February 10th, Central Time, if we have raised $22,500, I will do a nightly night stream on Tuesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. to demo the first block. But I'm only going to do that if we get to $22,500, because that's the only thing I can think of to get donations up. So Jordan, how many people are in the chat? 1,600. So take 1,600, take 2250 plus 1,200 divided by 1,600.
14. You said plus 1,200?
Okay, hold on. Let me do the math on my paper. Okay, hold on. Let me see my phone. I'm gonna do the math on my phone. Girl, give me my phone. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. 22,500 minus 18 divided by, okay, 3522 divided, how, you said 1,600? Okay, if everybody in the chat donates $2.25 to Make-A-Wish, we will raise that money. So we're doing whatever we can do to get to that money. So there you go. Now, when you get your kit, I wanted to talk a little bit about what to do. So this is your fabric requirements for the entire, fabric requirements and all the patterns, because if you buy the kit, you get them in advance. That's the bonus of getting the kit. Now, of course, Kevin and I will donate $20,000 to Make-A-Wish, and Mark Dunn will also give $10,000 to Make-A-Wish. Now, this has the full pattern, so don't lose it, because if you lose it, you'll have to wait for it to come out. Now, there is plenty of fabric for you to starch if you're interested in starching. The quilt will finish at 65 by 65, and the background for this is the white on white from the collection. It's little plus signs. And it does come in this box. The only way to get the box is buying it. And what's great about it is it has a magnetic closure, and you can store your blocks in here. So this is now shipping out. I'm so excited that it's finally here. And then we also have a backing set that is shipping out. So if you buy the backing set, you get the backing pattern. The backing, this is a stripe on the back, and then fabric goes this way. So here's your backing set. This is the fabric that goes on the sides. And then these fabrics right here make the butterfly and flower prints. So this was, all of this was designed by Corey Yoder. We are trying to raise $100,000 for Make-A-Wish, and this begins in March. Now, February 28th, if we raise $22,500, I will do a live stream on the first block. If not, we'll do it a different day, much later, so that we can raise that money. So I'm just so excited this finally came in. It actually came in right before the ice storm, and so excited it's finally here, and I'm hoping that there's a leftover box for me to keep. So that will be demoed on the live stream as it starts. Now I wanted to talk about something else new, same collection. Is it the same collection? Yeah, it's the same collection. Okay, so I always love to support designers, and I also love to bring to you guys lots of different ideas so that you're not always having to buy a pattern. You know, so Corey Yoder put together Sunny Patches Block of the Month. It's an 8-month block of the month. She's going to release the free block patterns on her blog. Her blog is corianderquilts.com. Now, it uses a jelly roll. Let me do a pop-up of the quilt real quick. So this is the quilt. It's those are jelly roll strips that make the little star points, and then you can see there's 8 holes for the blocks. Now, if you want to know more about this, Corey Yoder on her YouTube channel released all the info, and she talks all in detail about it. And she posted it this Wednesday, and it begins Saturday, March 18th. She will be releasing monthly block video tutorials. So I won't be, she will be, but I will be sewing along. And she is sewing hers in sun washed and in a beautiful day, both of them. And she does have beautiful day fabric requirements on her blog. And then this is the fabric she's using. So this is for the blocks. I just kind of wanted to show you so you can see the fabrics. So obviously if you do the pop-up again, this obviously right here, this jelly roll is all those strips that you see. And then this, she says, is for the blocks. This is for the blocks. Now this is the background she's using. She's using 2.5 yards, and I'm making mine exactly like her. So whatever she picked is what I bought. And then this is also for the blocks, and all of this you can download. Now she put this on the binding, which is really fun, and she put this on the backing. So I hope you join along with Corey, and I will be joining her. And if, you know, this is something you can sew along with any fabric. So if you already have a jelly roll you love, and you already have a background you love, start there. And then you can add the 3 block fabrics, the binding, the backing later. So just, you know, grab a jelly roll you have and a background you have. So that's the first free pattern to talk about. My next free pattern we've talked about a while. That last one, that's the first time I've shown you. This is the Riley Blake Block Challenge, and this week's block is the Cheerful Churn Dash by Amanda Niederhauser. And on this one, Lori Holt colored the blocks for me. I am using the Calico collection, and we're going to turn this into a table runner at the end. So if you want to do the same thing as Lori and I, she's also showing the blocks on her channel. Now to make this, I used let's see what this is, H200 to make these. Now for this, you could do strip sets if you want, and then these are also H200. Now the only thing that I have noticed since I've made this block that I don't like, we're going to zoom way in and just see if you can see it, but there is kind of a little mistake in here that I don't love. Okay, so when you look at it, the black goes down, down, across, across. These go across and these go down. So this will drive me crazy that I have all the stripes going a different direction. So we'll see if I redo that or if I leave it. And this is Jedi Craft Girl. And if you want this free pattern, it is available on Riley Blake's website. The blocks finish at 10 inches, which is really fun because that's a unique size. And I'm excited about you guys seeing the finished table runner because you're going to love it. Oh, thank you to Katie Naylor for the donation. So let's see where the donations are at. I know we got to 20,000. So we got to 20,045. So thank you so much. We have 2,000 more. Okay, our next one is also a freebie. This is a Quilting Life block of the month. So this is a free pattern on Sherry McConnell's blog, A Quilting Life. She also released a video earlier this week with tips on making this. And this one I am sewing, let's see, with Berry Basket by April Rosenthal. I used H300s for these. And the background I'm using on this, let's see what I'm doing. I am using the Twinkle white on white for this right here. So it's not a Bella Solid, it's a Twinkle. It's got little stars. And that's a basic by April Rosenthal. So this one features 6-inch and 12-inch. I'm doing the 12-inch this year. And I have already picked what I'm going to finish it in. It is a quilt that is in the Cozy Christmas book. Not Cozy Christmas, what's the name of the book? Vintage Christmas, sorry. Vintage Christmas book. I am going to show you later in the year how I'm going to finish mine. Now, what I wanted to show you is, because this kind of all goes together. So because I'm using berry baskets for Sherry McConnell's quilt, I am going to use that fabric collection to continue my string quilt, which is from the Scrappiness is Happiness book, and I'm going to use 64 different collections. So this is one of those. I made a 6-inch log cabin block using our 6-inch It's So Emma log cabin paper, and I made a bitty block. So if you didn't know, we came out with a free pattern last year in a 12 by 13. So this was the original. I was so obsessed with it. I was like, I got to keep making these. But I already made 2 quilts. One I auctioned for Make-A-Wish, one I auctioned for Uvalde, and then one I made for myself. It's actually at the quilter. So we designed a bitty quilt, which makes 6 by 7, and then 24 by 26 is the big one. So I made a bitty block. So those are kind of one of the things I'm working on. Another thing I'm working on is building my half square triangle stash. So I'm actually getting somewhere. I started off tiny. Now some of these are so tiny, I was like, why in the world did I even save those? Let me see. I looked at them and thought, I've lost my mind. Those are 1 inch, so those would be 1/2 inch finish. So I'm not sure I'm going to use those. I don't even know why I cut those that small, but that's kind of my stash that I'm working on. Now another sew along that we're in the middle of is Sew Scrappy Spools by Lori Holt. So this is her pattern. Now her bundle keeps coming in stock and going out of stock. So we had bundles at the beginning of the week. They already sold out. So I just keep reordering the fabric and we just make them as we get the fabric. So this week's blocks I'm showing you here. And we're going to show you the full quilt in a second. And I'm going to give you some tips on this. So this one I'm using the Calico collection. Now these are super easy. If you want a tip on how to get these to come out exactly the right size, you could always cut these slightly bigger and trim down before it goes into your spool block. So that's one tip. And then this one, I used H200 to make the half square triangles. And I chain pieced these into one long rectangle and then chopped them down. So very easy, and this is checkers and this is dash, and we're using the Sew Scrappy Spools pattern. And I'm going to show you the actual quilt because it came back from the quilter. Do you know who quilted it? Okay, we're going to find out who quilted it. And this one is, whose quilt is this? This is Lori's quilt. Now this one, I wanted to show you in the instructions. She wrote this where we use leftover scraps for the binding. We'll pull it, we'll show the back, and then I'll show you kind of how the binding looks. And so it's an assortment of blocks. I think that Teresa might have made this one. Okay, so right here you can see how that binding looks. I'm going to pull this over a little bit. Right there. So that's fun on the binding, or you can just do a straight binding. And I'm making mine. This was from the Scrappy bundle that we sold out of. And we had more Monday, we sold out, but I will keep making those. Now, I'm making mine with calico. So just to show you, it's slightly different. I still use, these are both bee cross stitches. This is a brown and this is alpine, I think. And then this is a brown from the calico collection. And then this is a brown from Bee Basics. So similar, but different. And this is an example of use what you want to use. If you have a brown in your stash, use that. You don't always have to buy the bundle. We do that so it makes it easy for you if you want to make it exactly like ours. But the point of doing these quilts isn't for you to always buy exactly this. It's for you to see how Lori would design one, how she colored both of these. So to be fair, these are both colored by Lori. This one's pieced by me, this one is pieced by someone else, and then this goes back to Lori. And then she put a 108 on the back. This is one of her 108s. And then we're trying to figure out who the quilter is. And then I'll tell you how much we have raised now. Let's see. 21,000. Okay, we're almost there. A little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to show you another quilt I'm working on. We are kind of in the middle of Scrappiness is Happiness, and this is a sew along where we're taking blocks from Lori Holt's book and putting it into a sampler. And this is this week's block. It's called Twinkle Twinkle Scrappy Star. It's a very, very simple block. It does show off fabric, so this one is really fun to use, you know, a fabric with some geometrics. And I pressed open, and you just have to get these points to line up. That's all you really have to. It's really not hard at all. And this one, when I had leftovers here, I saved that half square triangle, and it was in that half square triangle bucket. So this one's really fun. I can't wait to get this one made and quilted. We're also working on our Jolly Bar quilt along. Now this one does have a book. It's a very low priced book though. And this week we have 2 different blocks. So the first one is called Mosaic. Now on this one, I am using Simply Delightful by Sherry and Chelsea. Sorry, I get confused between Bountiful. I get confused between 2 of the collections. Sunwash and Simply Delightful. So this is Simply Delightful. And this one, these are, I saved all of the leftovers from here for half square triangles and here too. And with this one, when I cut the square, I would, you know, I used 2 of each so that I wouldn't waste one, if that makes sense. And the background, I did get a question. My background on this is 20708-36. That one is going to be back in stock in May. Oh, Julie Stubbs is my quilter, and she quilted my So Scrappy Spools. Yes, Julie made that one. Yes, okay, sorry. Yes, Julie quilted that one, and that is Lori's quilter, and she's super nice. Let's see. Okay, we're going to move. Oh, we're going to show you. Okay, these are my blocks. Very scrappy. These blocks are from Sample Maker. So Crystal made this one. This is Bleu de France by French General. Now, one thing you can do with this, and I will show you, the block is designed where the white goes down or the cream goes down. You could rotate if you wanted to. Okay, so that's Bleu de France. And then these are Sun Washed by Corey Yoder. And I'm going to kind of show you something with this. Now, one thing that Nova's doing on this one is she's using the same print within each block or the same color. She's kind of mixing and matching. But I wanted to show you, if you wanted to change this block up, you could do this. You could take these two and rotate once. And then you would kind of have a little spool in the center. And that would be really cool. Or you could have the centers, the big ones in the center, this, or you could make the spool go the other way. So always feel like, you know, you can do whatever you want with your quilt. And she probably would put the blues not touching. I'd probably put the blues where they're offset. So lots of fun options. That is that one. And then this one, this is kind of fun how she used backgrounds to it kind of makes it look like a little 8 or a double 8. Now she did do all the whites going down. So this one is Sun Wash by Corey Yoder. Nova made this one, and Riley made these. These is Filigree by Zen Chic, and then this is a spotted from that collection. Now, one question we get, and I wanted to kind of explain it, is, so for example, with Twinkle, so this right here has little tiny stars, and it came out in a collection by April Rosenthal, and it sold so good that Moda said, okay, let's make that a basic. Same thing with this Zen Chic. It sold really good. They make it a basic. So if a designer comes out with something and it sells good, they keep it as a basic. Okay, right there, you can kind of see the star. So that's kind of how Moda as a company decides on their basics. Okay. Now we have another charity we're raising money for. This is Stronger Together. We're raising money for UNCF. We have made our donation on that one, so that's super exciting. And thank you to everyone who commented. I had a mistake in last week's block, so we have now fixed those. We had the long rectangle in the wrong spot. So that is what's great about live stream is y'all can find my mistakes before. We're going to zoom out a little and see if we can make some of them fit. Sorry, I have a mess over here. And so this quilt is really about color placement to get the effect of this. And so you kind of really have to, my tip on this quilt is you really have to kind of pay attention to where stuff is. And I think on a quilt that has this many colors, one block at a time. It will be slower, but you will not have to pick out your mistakes. There's no way I could do these where I just did them all at the same time. And then these are some other blocks that go with it. So I would definitely say one at a time. And it's very easy, just strips and rectangles, and Michelle Ramsey designed this year's. Okay, we're almost to our goal, 22,198. Awesome. And so this one, I would say this is a great beginner quilt, except for the only hard thing about this quilt at all is the fabric placement. So my tip to you is to one block at a time. And a great example of something is last week's live stream. There was a mistake in the block. Do we have one? No, it's okay. That is what happens when a quilt is so easy. So when a quilt is easy, I am so much more likely to just think, oh, it's easy, I can do it, and just not think. So it happens to all of us, but that's one thing that I have to watch is that I don't just get ahead of myself and think, oh, I can just do this, because I can't. Okay, Love Note is our free pattern that came out. This is mine, right? I love this one. Okay, so this was our free pattern for Valentine's Day for this year, and I made this one. I'm sorry the kit sold out so fast, but I love this. And Teresa put a hanging sleeve on it for me because she's so nice. And then this is my little label, quilted by Maggie Honeyman, and Jordan's gonna zoom in so you can see the quilting. So cute. Look at those hearts. So I'm taking this home today, and I'm gonna put it somewhere in my house. I love it. I love that tiny quilting. So, yay. Okay, on the blog this week, we did an article on how to choose the right fabric for your next quilt. So sometimes we get questions about what's the difference between cotton fabric, batik fabric, woven fabric, linen fabric, minky fabric. So if you want some tips, you can go there, and then you could bookmark that page for in the future to know where to go to look up kind of the content makeup and some tips of using different type fabrics than regular cotton. And on that blog post, we are giving away a bundle of some of the fabrics, so go check out the blog post on the Jolly Jabber to figure out how to enter. And then behind me, you will see the banner. So behind me, that cute little banner, we put that as a DIY heart banner on our blog, and it's just a heart template. So you download the free heart template. We made ours with the Beautiful Day charm packs, and then to hang it, we used the Lori Holt chunky thread in the white cloud color. So this is on the Jolly Jabber blog also. And then another freebie is so cute. Okay, so Jessica made this, and it's a spring garland, and this is a reel on our Instagram. And all it is very simple. It's just time consuming. Is you just take Jelly Roll strips and you put them on, you knot them in the center, and we put this on chunky thread. The color we used is frosting. So cute. I love it. And this, let's see, this one is Sandy Gervais Hello Spring. So this is something fun you could do for, gosh, anything. Really cute. You could do, when I saw this, kind of what I thought was this would be really cute if you have a fireplace and you just put it all the way across the fireplace. I would probably, if I did that, I'd probably have to spread mine out though. But so cute. I love it. And then our monthly sales. This month our basic is B cross stitch. So the yardage, pre-cuts, everything is on sale, 20% off. Now our It's So Emma notions are all 25% off. So we have, you know, foundation paper, triangles on a roll. This is a cute little clean your sewing machine kit. So, and even our little, hold on, these Stash and Stores are on sale. So those are on sale for the month of February. Our It's So Emma patterns are all 30% off. That includes any of the paper and any of the PDF and any of the books. So big sale this month. And make sure you drop your questions in because I'm getting close to the end, and the way I do the end is I read the questions as I see them, and then when the questions go away and I've answered all of them, then I'm done. Now, the color of the year 2022 for Kona was purple, so Kevin put the 10-inch square on sale today. Gather is on sale by Layla Boutique. We have some hand sanitizer and some black elastic on sale today. Okay, now I'm going to show you 4 kits that are new. Okay. Oh, okay. So this one right here is Swallowtail, featuring Sunwash by Corey Yoder. It's 48 by 60. That is selling really fast. Those kits, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make more, but I know that kit is selling fast. This one is called Summer Picnic. It's also Sunwash by Corey Yoder. I love it. I want to buy whoever made that because I love it. It's 65 by 67. It uses 2 Jolly bars, very easy. The next 2 I'll show you on the table. This one is my favorite quilt that Crystal has ever designed. So Crystal's on our It's So Emma team, and I love this quilt. So it's meant to be, she was inspired by Pantone, what are those swatches or images? And so, sorry, this one is called Selfies. It's 58 by 66. This is a Bella Solid. And then the back is really fun. Now I do want to show you the label on the back. We're going to flip it out that way. This is really fun. So, Angel made this one, but Crystal designed it. So she embroidered on 14 count Aida, I think that's 16 count Aida. So she made this in October, and this is a great way to show you. We do stuff so far in advance. So that was October. So we've got November, December, January, February. So 4 months ago we made this, but I love this quilt. So fun. And this next one, oh my gosh, I want to make it. Now the pattern we sold out of earlier this week. I'm going to order more, and we hope to have them next week. This is the Peeps Table Runner, featuring that same collection that was the little banner. So they all are matchy-matchy, and I just think this is so cute. It's 15 by 24. It is, it includes the pattern and the fabric for the quilt top. This is designed in piece by Sandy Gervais and Joanna Marsh. Did it. Yay, we raised $22,572. So yay, we get to have a live stream. That means everybody in this room gets to come and work. Yay! We all love to work. Oh my gosh, look at this quilting. It's amazing. And these are buttons. They're so cute. I love it. But this would match really good to the banner. Okay, so for new fabric, I have a lot of new fabric. I'm going to try to put it all on the table at once. This is Sunwash by Corey Yoder. We've been promoting this like crazy because I happen to love it. And I'm sewing my Barnstar sampler. My Barnstar sampler, one of the questions in the chat is, what is my background? I think it's 20708-36. This is Simply Delightful by Sherry and Chelsea. This is the Barnstar Sampler Half Yard Bundle that I'm using, and this is where Sarah and I picked and chose fabric from the two collections. Now we do have enough to make more, so if we sell out of this, I should be able to make more. We just loaded this 3 days ago, and we've sold out of half of them. This is Sweet Liberty by Brenda Gervais. This is Sundance by Crystal Manning. This is Mix It Up by Moda Fabrics, and this is all low volume backgrounds and shirtings. Okay, we got this together finally this week. This is called Vintage Kite Bee Backgrounds Fat Quarter Bundle. It has 20 bee backgrounds. It's what I will be using in an upcoming sew along with Lori Holt's Kite 6-inch paper. This is going to be my background. So if you're going to do that, we're going to start that like much later in the year, but I got those cut this week, so I want to show you. This is Cheerfully Red by Christopher Thompson, Riley Blake. Gingham Cottage by Heather Mulder Peterson for Riley Blake. And I love this one. This one is called Portsmouth. Now this one I am going to be doing a sew along with this collection. I can't remember what it is that I picked, but I colored something in this. So I am excited this is here. And then Gingham Cottage. Oh, I showed it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move these off real quick and try not to make a big old mess before. So there is not going to be a kite quilt kit. There's going to be just, this is going to be your background. I'm going to be using a half yard bundle, a fat quarter bundle of Lori's collection that is coming out in March. So more details later on that. Now, the Calico Home Zipper Bags panel by Lori Holt. I have had Teresa making me bags, and oh my gosh, I showed you some earlier. Now she has 4 more made. They're so cute. So I wanted to kind of show you how she makes her bags so personable. Now Lori has a video on her channel on how to make these bags. And that is a home deck weight fabric. So she took that one panel and she's making me 8 bags. And so you can see the quilting right here. What she did is she did a stitch in the ditch or outline around all of the little pieces. On the back, this one has just stripes, just straight line quilting. The tags are on the panel. Same thing here, she outlined. And this one, she did a fun little zigzag on the back. And then this one is, this is from the Autumn Love from a long time ago. And so she just stitched in the ditch. And then the same thing here. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. So she used that same design here on the back. Oh my gosh, so cute. And then this one she stitched in between each and then did a diagonal. So, and then, oh, to go along with this, okay, these are going to be sold out by Saturday, I'm sure. We ordered a ton of them, but this is Sunbonnet Sue, Scotty, and this one is Happy House. So these are great to go on Lori's bags. So they fit perfectly. So just put them on the bags. Let's see, this one will be cute here. I'm going to put this one over here. See, now I'm going to keep the little charms. This is why they sell so good, because they're so cute. I'll put this one over here. So cute. And then, in addition to that, a lot of her new notions came out. So these are tape measures. There's 4 different ones, and they're really cool because you can just go like this. And then her 5.0 readers came in, so that's super exciting. Okay, so now I'm going to answer questions, and then we'll do the giveaway. Will I be carrying Robin Pickens' fall line later this year? If you can give me the name of it, I can let you know, but I think so. Can you starch the one to the left, the Jolly Bar quilt? This one. Probably not. The Jolly Bar quilts you really cannot starch. Do you have the tiny vacuum for your sewing machine? No, but we got that in recently and then it sold out right away. It's made by Brewer, which is a distributor, and I saw it. It sold out right away. I was going to buy one, but I am going to try it because I think it looks really cool, but I have not tried it yet. Will Simply Delightful be considered a basic? No. Is the Scrappy Happy Starter Kit what you are referencing for the Scrappy Spools bundle? Yes. Was that Quilting Baptist fan on the school quilt? Spool quilt. Yes. Jen Lee, hello. How do you line the binding up so the corners are exactly on the corner for the Sew Scrappy Spools by Lori Holt? I think that was an accident. That was not planned. That was an accident. Cheryl Fisher, what is the typical fabric length for each piece on a Scrappy binding? I've never done Scrappy because I'm not sure of the length. So I like to use 10, 10 and a half, but kind of depends. Oh, thank you so much to Janet Buster for the super chat. And then thank you to Nadston for super chat. A little help for Make-A-Wish. All the best from Germany. Love FQS and the quilting community. And then Donna Mom donated. Biddy Block is just the name of for the brick house we now have like a small, medium, large. One year I saved all my little triangles that were about 1 inch and made pin cushions for my friends for Christmas. They still use them. Oh, that's a great idea. From this far you can't see the direction difference. So that's my block. Yes. Okay, well maybe I won't change it. Is calico what you're putting in the spools bundle? Yes. What batting is used in the Lori Holt bags? So we use by Annie Soft and Stable, and Lori in her bags uses 80/20 batting. What is the best way to get notified about the exclusive boxes? The best way is to be on our newsletter list. Thank you to Katie Naylor for donating. Lifting and stitching. Okay, with the Jolly Bar 4 quilt along, my inner triangle squares bubbled up on the mosaic block. is the steam iron to starched fabric issue or a machine tension issue? Okay, let me look at that book real quick. Inner triangle on the mosaic. Is that one of the blocks we showed today? Okay, let me see. I got it right here, hold on. If I move mine of this. So my tip for that block would be when you add these, use pins, sew directly on the line, set your seam, and press to one side. That's the only tip I can give you. If it's puckering, then your stitch length might be, your tension on the bottom might be too tight. So that would be my tip. Will I be doing more interviews? I loved the interview with the gal that made the pattern for Stronger Together. Yes, I do them from time to time. You can always put a little comment in who you want me to interview. Any ideas when Lori's tall triangle ruler will be in stock? Yes, it will be March. Can we get the Selfies quilt pattern on its own or only with the kit? So only with the kit for now. It will come out in a future Jolly Bar book. Will I carry the Clothworks Jelly Roll fabric that's in the Cupid box? We did have it, and it sold out, and it's now discontinued. Is the Bountiful Charity quilt considered beginner? I would say it's intermediate. And then let's see, we have raised $22,745. So woohoo, yay, thank you. That's like the only way I could get the money raised. So today we're going to give away 3 sets of this. Each person's going to get a perfect 10 book and a perfect 5 book. And these are great because this is a charm pack friendly book and this is a layer cake friendly book. To enter the giveaway, what I want you to do is comment and let me know from all the quilts I showed you today, which one inspires you the most. And I can't wait to see what you think, and I will see you guys next week.